All right, in this video, we are going to talk about how to do an at-home food challenge test. If this is your first time clicking on my pretty face, thank you. My name is Lesline, and I am your favorite nurse yogi. I am a registered nurse with 12 years of healthcare experience, and I'm also a certified yoga instructor, but today we are going in my nurse bag. I have my healthcare experience, and I also have personal experience with my son who was severely allergic to eggs as a baby, and praise God, he grew out of it. And we confirmed this through doing an at-home food challenge test. I have done like short form content on this, like quick reels and stuff, and I've seen that people are very intrigued by this. So I want to give you step by step because I thought it was interesting with our pediatrician. I don't know, I am also a content creator based in Orlando, Florida. I love when I see healthcare providers online dispelling, debunking, and because there's a lot of misinformation when it comes to a lot of industries. I'm focusing on healthcare because I'm a registered nurse, and there's a lot of misinformation when it comes to healthcare. And so when my pediatrician was like, hey, let's do this at-home food challenge test, I then was like, oh my gosh, do you have a PDF? What's your at? And so I was like, okay, she just told me word for word, and I wrote it down. So I have it here, and don't hold me to this, but I'm going to say it step by step, and I'm going to try my best to just give you guys a free downloadable for you to have this if you have a kid that has an allergy. But please, before I say this, please make sure your doctor, your pediatrician has said, oh yes, you need to do an at-home food challenge test. Please don't do this unless you get your pediatrician, your doctor's permission. This is not medical advice. This is education, okay? I have to say that so I don't, get sued. It's like when you got to say allegedly. Okay, so the reason we did an at-home food challenge test, my son was severely allergic to eggs. I found that out because at 9 months, I gave him eggs per the pediatrician, and this is I'm not saying this oh, it's the pediatrician. No, he was ready to eat foods. And they're like, let's try it with a soft food. Gave him the eggs. He started getting hives around his mouth, nowhere else on his body. I'm also going to tag my video where I talk to you all about the difference between food intolerance versus food allergy, okay? Because they are different. And so the reason I knew this was a food allergy is because of the hives. And I'm not going to go all into it was because of the hives though, right? And then he started to cry, and him crying, and then he just blacked out. And I got so scared. I was like, oh my gosh. So I took him to urgent care because as I was getting him ready, the hives were disappearing. So I was like, okay, it's not 911. And I actually have another video that just tells you when do you go to urgent care versus when do you go to the emergency room, because that will save you thousands of dollars, okay? So I'm going to make sure future Lesline will do that. I'm looking around so I can write this down because I be forgetting, but I just, this channel is a resource for you. I just want to give you my healthcare knowledge to save you money is really what it is, right? So we're going to put the food allergy video down below. We're also going to put, what is it? Not 911. Oh my gosh. Emergency room versus urgent care. Okay, those two videos are going to be down below. And then a PDF of this at-home food challenge test will be down below for you. Amazing. Future Lesline has a few things to do. All right. So step 1, right? So we did eggs, right? Because like I said, that's what he's allergic to. There's been 2 separate occasions. 9 months, he had the eggs, he had the allergic reaction. And then at about 2 years old, I gave him Cold Stone. It's always me that's doing these things. I gave him Cold Stone ice cream that had eggs in it. At time of recording, I also want to say this. It is March 21st, 2026. I don't, so just putting that there. Maybe oh, they don't have egg. I don't know when you're watching this, okay? But when we did this a few years ago, Cold Stone ice cream did have egg in it. So I gave him that, and he started getting itchy, and he started doing, I said, oh, I immediately called 911. And by the time 911 came, he was better. But because with kids, like things can happen so sudden, like we went in the ambulance and they just monitored him for like an hour or so and he was fine. I believe they gave him Benadryl and he was okay. So those two occasions, that's why we take egg around here, or we did take egg allergy really seriously. So then now that he's 7, me and my mother-in-law, who's a retired nurse, were like, you know what, let's try again. So I took him to the pediatrician. They did a blood test. The blood test said, yeah, he's still kind of sort of allergic to eggs, but the doctor felt comfortable of us doing an at-home food challenge test. So the at-home food challenge test, it goes like this. There are how many steps? 4 steps, it looks like, okay? So the first step is you make the food, whatever food it is. And so she suggested that we do like an egg muffin or or a bake, like something like a muffin that has egg in it. Me and my husband made the executive decision. We're just going to do actual scrambled eggs. So we made scrambled eggs, and the first day we were instructed to put it on the trunk of his body. So the trunk of your body, is your belly, your abdominal area. Okay. So we put a little bit of the egg on his belly and we waited 15 minutes. Okay. So we set a 15-minute timer, and that first day I was so scared. I was so scared. But it's like, it's not going in his body, right? So it's like the worst that's going to happen is he's going to get really itchy. And if that did happen, that would mean we stop it. Like he's severely allergic if it touches his skin and he's reacting, right? So, and if that did happen, we also then would put cream Benadryl lotion on the area, okay? Because it's a skin reaction, okay? So you can just use Benadryl lotion versus giving your kid like the liquid for them to ingest, because it's topical, it's skin that it's happening, okay? Let me know if you want further clarification on why I'm specifying that. So we put it on his trunk for 15 minutes, and then we were instructed to wait 1 full day if there was no reaction. There was no reaction. So we're like, okay, after the 15 minutes passed, we just like literally took a piece of egg and we just rub like really hard. I was like, I want to make sure, like really, really. It was like a red mark because I pressed so hard. And we waited. So we did 15 minutes, and then the next day we're like, okay, step 2. Put it on his lip. Okay, so this is where it gets really specific, because you're gonna watch the other video where I educate you on food intolerance versus food allergy. And if something is a true allergy, it is gonna show up in this case like as a hive on the lip, right? Or his lip is gonna swell up. Or even around his mouth, we'll start to get the hives like he did when he was 9 months. I'm like in the camera. Y'all can see every crevice on my face. So we put a little bit of egg on the lip, okay? And we waited 15 minutes. And this is going to be all down below because I'm giving a lot of personal story as I'm sharing step by step. So do not fret. This PDF will be down below for you. So we put it on his lip, right? Waited 15 minutes. No reaction. We're like, okay. We waited 1 full day. And we typically I would suggest do it like when you wake up in the morning. And also because this is like a 1, 2, 3, is it about a 4-day process? If you can do this like during spring break, I'm saying that because we're finishing up spring break, or summer break, or if it's like a long weekend. So keep that in mind. Don't just do this. Don't do this on a Sunday and then your kid got to go to school the next day and then you get a call from the school nurse that the kid has an upset stomach. Parents, y'all know how it goes. You're like, I don't got time. So you do have to plan this at-home food challenge test accordingly. So that's day 2. No reaction on the lip. We waited a full day. The next day, we put the egg on his tongue, okay? And he just tasted no swallowing. That was very interesting because my son is 7, so he's a young kid. So it's like, you gotta tell your kid, like, and then they want to be silly, and it's like, I don't want to joke right now. Like, this is life or death. Like, okay, so we put the egg on his tongue like this, and then we immediately said, spit it out. Like, we're like, spit out in the sink, okay? Because we don't want him to swallow anything. We waited 15 minutes. No reaction. Praise God. Waited a full day. So now that was day 3. Now we're going into day 4. This was day 1 and day 4 were the most worrisome days for me, because day 1, because I'm like, oh gosh, if he has a reaction, then it's like, damn it, it's like, well, he really allergic. He didn't. So day 4 though, this was the really scary one for me, because he had to actually eat a piece of the egg, swallow it. And so he did that. We waited 15 minutes and no reaction. Praise God, right? So that was like, I was like, wait, what? Like, I was just like, I thought you were allergic. Like, I saw you with my own eyes. So it was just proof that kids can grow out of allergies. Like, it is possible. And I didn't research this, what I'm about to tell you, but typically they say like your taste buds change every 7 years and things like that. So it's like, oh, okay. And unfortunately, if you're an adult, maybe you've developed allergies. There's also that too. And I will preface here, there are things with how food is made differently these days, blase, blase, blase. So it's like, I wasn't allergic to that when I was a kid and now I am. It could be one of two things. It could be how it's now made, right? It also can be you are changing. Your cells are constantly changing in your body. So things that you once could eat, you no longer could eat, right? So yeah. And then, also she did say, so for example, like if going back to the systems, that please watch that video, but she was like, if only one system, and I already said this, but I'm just repeating it in this way. If he's just itchy, give him Benadryl or Claritin is what she said. For example, if he just was like pooping or whatever, we wouldn't really give him anything. Like say he only had like, maybe he had like 2 bowel movements that day versus like 1. I wouldn't really be too concerned in there. I wouldn't be like giving him Imodium, or like maybe I'd just be like, okay, drinks a little bit more water. But she was like, if it's only one system specifically, like it's him like the, oh my gosh, his immune system is responding. There we go. Give him Benadryl or Claritin, which I specified to you guys. Like if it's a topical, which means your skin, just give him lotion Benadryl. Okay, so that is how you do an at-home food challenge test. And if there, so we did that with eggs, and then my husband, because he's also allergic to peanuts, but like we don't really be eating peanuts like that. I eat almonds, but like we don't really be eating peanuts like that. And so my husband was like, should we try the peanuts now? Like I feel like it was like maybe the next day, and I was like, can we just like kind of let this egg like do its thing in its body? Because I've had my own delayed allergic reaction to a medication. So that personal experience was kind of like, I don't want to just be like the next day, like, okay, let's introduce a new thing to him and then not know like, well, maybe it was the egg or maybe it was the peanut. So like, that's the thing when it comes to allergies. And your doctor says, okay, do this at-home food challenge test. Again, do what your doctor says. I am only giving education, but I implore you to just do one allergen at a time. Do not be like, okay, that one next day or that same day. No, because you notice with this at-home food challenge test, you have to wait a full day, right? And so typically set an alarm at 9 a.m. every day. We're going to do this. And then, you set it every day for the next 4 days, right? And just to reiterate before I close this video out, make sure that you do it during a long weekend or during summer break or spring break when you have at least 4 or more days, because God forbid, I really hope this doesn't happen for your child, but God forbid there is a reaction and then you got to take him to the emergency room, God forbid, and then you got to follow up with your pediatrician, and then you got to follow up with y'all know how it goes, and you don't see the allergist for a good 3 to 6 months because it's a specialist, right? So just keep those things in mind before you do this at-home food challenge test with your child. That's it. This was real short, cute. Normally my videos can be like 20 to 30 minutes, but I'm giving to you this in 15 minutes. All of the resources will be down below for you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This is going to be day 46 or 47 out of 100 days of your girl being on YouTube. I am doing a 100-day YouTube challenge. And I'm like, this is just a little, if you want Kiki still with me, keep watching. But I was worried that like I wouldn't have enough things to talk about. And I realized I have a lot to talk about. And so if you're like wanting to see what other things I talk about everything from your health and wellness to my nursing career to motherhood to yoga. What else we be talking about? Beauty, hair. Everybody got a lot. Like that's a big thing. People are very interested in how I deal with all of that hair. All right, y'all. I'm done talking. I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye for now.